The next kind of problems are talking about slope. So first thing that we want to understand is what are they talking about when they talk about slope? When we think about a slope, you kind of want to think about a hill, right? If I'm going uphill, my slope is positive. If I'm going downhill, my slope is negative. I also have two other kinds of lines. If my line goes straight across that horizontal line, then your slope should be 0, right? If it's like the top of your desk, you don't want to have any slope to it or everything would roll off. Yep. And if we happen to have one of those straight vertical lines, your slope is what they're going to call undefined. Because what happens is you get 0 in the bottom of a fraction, which you can't have. So those are the 4 ways you could have your lines. If I look at this graph right away, I should know that my slope on this line is going to be negative because it's going downhill, right? The ball would roll down the line. So when I do slope, slope is the change in the y direction over the change in the x direction. Your y direction is your up or your down direction. Your x direction is right or left. I always go to the right because I always start on the left. So basically, one way of finding slope is just to count. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start on my point on the left. That's this point right here. And I'm going to count. I'm doing it backwards from when I plot points, because on slope we do the y, the up or down first. When we plot our point, we do the x first. So we do it in reverse order. So when I count, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 down. -3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right. So I went down 3 over 6. And so my slope is going to be -3 over 6. Of course, we have a fraction, and if we have fractions, we always want to put our fractions in simplified form. I can rewrite that as -1/2. So my slope is -3/6, which simplifies into -1/2. And we knew it should be negative because we knew to start with it was going downhill, just to double check and make sure our sign is right.
So we want, like the slope is right here and right here, they got to connect, right?
Right. And just connecting those 2 dots, how do I get from one dot to the next? Now the symbol for slope is an M. Remember we had that y equals mx plus b? So if you see m equals, that means I want to find the slope. M is for slope. So if I start on this point right here, to get to this point right here, what do I have to do?
You gotta count. You're gonna go up.
1, 2, 3 up.
1, 2, 3 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So I'm going to have 3 over 5. I can't simplify 3/5, so my slope is just 3/5. And we knew our slope should be positive because we went uphill, which it is, positive 3/5. So number 12, what is the slope of that line?
-7.
So -7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So -7/5.